So what might compromised gun legislation look like, and what are the chances that those kinds of measures could actually make it through a divided Congress, as Kevin laid out for us? Let's bring in a couple of legal experts to discuss the possibilities tonight. Trial attorney Brian Claypool, who, by the way, survived that mass shooting in Las Vegas. And Nothing But the Truth podcast host, criminal defense attorney David Bruno. Gentlemen, always good to see you. Thank you for being on tonight.
Always a pleasure.
Hi, Shannon.
Brian, let me start, because I have to imagine for you, every time something like this happens, it is just crushing after what you've been through.
Yeah, Shannon, I have to tell you, seeing pictures of those kids, it's just devastating. It's heartbreaking. I know what they were feeling. I know what that teacher was feeling. When I was in Vegas and I was dodging those bullets, I know what they're feeling, and I will tell you, in the middle of my shooting, I said to myself, if I get out of here alive, I'm going to help get an assault weapon ban, right? And then I met with Dianne Feinstein when I got back, and I read her a letter, Shannon, from my daughter. My birthday was a day after the shooting. I read her a letter that I said I might never have read had I died. Can you do something? And nothing happened. So what I want to tell your viewers is we have to work from the inside out. We're never going to get an assault weapon ban. We know that. That's not reasonable. But what we can do is bond together. And what you said in that other segment, we all have to give up a little piece of our civil liberties, I think, to safeguard kids in our country. The red flag laws. Forget about HIPAA. The background check law. Why isn't that passed, Shannon? 84% of people believe in that. So those are two starting points. And then mental health. We've got to talk about mental health.
Yeah, and Dr. Krautheimer in that piece back in 2012 talks about those things. He said when he was working in psychiatry, it was much easier. There wasn't as much red tape and as much pushback and administrative trouble if you tried to commit somebody because you knew that they were a danger to themselves or someone else. And he said in that article, it's just gotten so much more difficult to try to get help for somebody that does flag that you are very aware that there is a mental health issue. But let's talk about these red flag laws. Several states passed them in recent years. But there was a piece in pewtrust.org that I was reading about talking about this issue over due process, the debate over that, because the note there is that many states take the gun and then have the hearing. The ACLU Rhode Island director said this: "We believe it's very important that basic due process standards are considered when drafting measures like this. It can have serious impacts on innocent individuals." So, David, how do we find that careful solution?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you. I mean, first off, this is the 27th school shooting of this year, believe it or not. There was 34 last year in 2021. And since Newtown, Connecticut in 2012, there's been 270 people killed in K through 12. And those statistics are staggering. I mean, something has to be done. And Brian, it's great to see you, my friend. And I knew your story, and I knew I was coming on with you, and I knew it would be an emotional one. And we just have to learn from these things. But on this case, Shannon, no red flag law would have protected this situation. This guy had no criminal history. This guy had no mental health history whatsoever. He was 18 years old.
David, why are we selling an AR-15 to an 18-year-old, dude?
That's what I was getting to.
At least changed the law to 21 at least. You can't even drink at 18. I'm sorry.
Years old.
Ridiculous.
He gets the AK, two of them, right at his 18th birthday. And to Brian's point, he couldn't go into a liquor store and buy liquor. This same person. So these red flag laws, look, Jersey has it. I'm in Jersey. They have the red flag law, and they take the gun. They take the gun immediately if there's a showing of a need, a danger. And I don't see the reason for a red flag law if they can't take the gun.
In New Jersey, is there hearing first, or who determines the showing of need? Because that is a real concern. This is a constitutional right. Yeah. And people are very worried about potential abuse by, a spurned ex-lover or somebody who wants to get you in trouble and take your weapons away, when you may not, the facts show, if there's an investigation, be what they're claiming you are.
Sure. The complaint's filed by either a family member or a police officer, and it goes to a Superior Court judge that makes the determination based on an enumerated set of factors that they have to consider to determine if there is a need to take the gun. And unfortunately, there is no hearing there. It's ex parte. The judge makes the decision. Right. If the order is signed, then they go in, the police go in and get the guns. And then statutorily, the hearing's supposed to take place within 10 days. And it's a short period of time. It's a summary action. But there has to be some give and take right there. And that is what some of the legislators and some of the states have allowed in the red flag laws.
It's a difficult one. Brian, we have 15 seconds, so final word from you.
Yeah. Yes, social media, they need to have a sense of responsibility. We need mandated reporter laws. Social media needs to report to law enforcement when they see posted on Facebook or Instagram 2 AR-15s from an 18-year-old and a picture of ammunition. They need to have a stake in this. Shannon, one last point. Every mass shooting has red flags, and we need to create laws that force us to pay attention to those red flags and report them.
I don't want us to get cut off, but we all have to take more responsibility. That is for sure. Brian and David, thank you both.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Shannon.